Now, let's look at this average cost per claim method for forecasting or for predicting the estimated claim amounts for the future periods, for the future years, for the claims that have been already initiated but yet to be settled. So that the company can very well plan out how much of the reserve can it set aside for those claims which are already initiated but are pending settlement. So we have looked at the basic chain ladder approach, an inflation adjusted chain ladder approach, where there was some mechanisms in terms of forecasting the projected claim amounts and how do we set the reserves in each of these cases. Here, what we are looking at is, in this method, we are breaking this claim amounts into two major dimensions. One is a number of claims and the other one is average claim amount. So it's basically the number of claims multiplied by the average claim amount is giving us the total claim amount. But this mechanism of projection is also taking an additional input, which is the number of claims in each of the process. So because of this reason, here we'll have the triangles or the development tables not just for total claim amount, we'll have for average claim amounts as well as we will also work out for the number of claims, right? And based on these two, we'll try to develop a third table, which is then simply taking these two things and trying to come out with the total claim. So basically, three major tables are involved here, and after that, we are getting into the projection of the figures. Finally, whatever is the claims that we are typically required to project, we are making the projections accordingly. Now, if I have to understand this method in depth, initially, as a part of the data collection mechanism, I'm getting the development table, which is the accidental year-wise, development year-wise kind of a table for total claim amount as well as the number of claims. For these two, I am getting detailed development tables. Based on that, I am actually computing a development table for the average claim amount, wherein I am dividing the total claim amount divided by the number of claims. And after that, we are projecting the average claims separately. Then we are projecting the number of claims separately using different mechanisms. We'll talk about two mechanisms. One is the development factors mechanism, which we have seen, or I could even use what is called as a grossing up factors. We'll discuss about this. Grossing up factors approach or a development factors approach. We'll project these two things separately. Then, based on this, we'll try to go with the projected ultimate claims. Whatever we have got as projected average claims, and I multiply it with the number of claims for each of the years, and based on that we are coming up with the projected ultimate claims, and based on that we are computing the results. So this is what is a typical mechanism of using the average cost per claim kind of a method. A few things here to remember. Here the process is exactly not straightforward. It's not a unique method. There are lot of variants that are used as a part of this method, right? So it can be used on accidental years, right? It could be computed based on the accidental years or probably reporting years also, which could be a slight difference, right? Now, whatever it is, the form of the data for the number of claims and that used for the claim amount, that needs to be the similar stuff. And here, one important point that we have to look at is use that particular method for which the development is more and more stable, so that the projection, whatever we are doing, is more and more appropriate. So the reporting of the claims will be more and more stable than the settlement. So that's the reason we may have to think accordingly while collecting the appropriate data. And even here there are different mechanisms in terms of estimate. We can use either the grossing up factors mechanism or we can use the development factors mechanism. What we see is, for this kind of an example, grossing up factors is much more simpler, and we will see when we are applying it, this method becomes much more simpler compared to using the development factors. And at the same time, either it could be ignoring the inflation or it could be considering the inflation, including the inflation. So different methods can come out which will result in different kinds of estimates. So it's more of a process, and based on that process we really need to see what difference this process is bringing for our estimate compared to the usage of the other mechanism. That's a better way to understand this. So for that, let me take up an example again. The accidental years, right? I'm looking at the accidental years, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here I'm taking the development years 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm also considering the ultimate. Ultimate is finally what is the settlement that is happening. So I'm assuming that at the end of 5 years, the overall settlement is going to occur. That is what we are calling as a runoff. Now here if I am taking the total claims data, total claim payment, right, or cumulative incurred claims, total claims incurred, paid or not paid. So I'm looking at, let's say, the total claims incurred, okay, 2,777. I'm taking some numbers for each of the years. All right. Okay, these are the numbers that are incurred for each of the years, and whatever are the claims that are initiated in, let's say, accident year 4, whatever got settled within 2 years from then. Similarly, we could look at all other numbers as well. All right, let's say these are the numbers, right? Which means whatever the claims that got initiated in year 1, out of them 2,777,000 or 2.777 million of the claims have been settled in year 0. By the end of year 1, 3.264 million claims got settled. By the end of year 5, 3.717 million claims million dollar worth claims got settled, and this is the ultimate number also. And at the same time, for this entire periods, I even have the data regarding the number of claims, right? Because here we require two kinds of data. I also have the number of claims in each of the periods. So it's as good as saying, okay, 414 claims worth 2.777 million got settled in the first in the year itself. See, the claims, probably, if I'm assuming these are like 2008 onwards, if I say that these are from 2008-9 kind of stuff, so, or 13, or probably let me start it from 2009. So if I make this assumption, the claims that got in 2009, they got settled in 2009. 414 claims which got initiated in 2009 to the worth of 2.777 million got settled in 2009 itself. Whereas by the end of 2010, overall 460 claims got settled, and the settled amount was around 3.264 million. Similarly, here 482, 488, 492, 494. The same logic I can extend for all the years, right? I'm considering how many claims got settled in each of the situations. So these are the number of claims, and that is the total claim amount that got settled in each of the cases. Okay, with these being the numbers, these are the number of claims. So overall, let's say if I'm saying ultimate 494, overall in the year 2009, so probably I should visualize it like this. For the year 2009, overall there are 494 claims that got initiated and settled. Out of them, 414 got settled in the first year itself. Probably another 46 got in the second year, another 22 in the third, another 6 in the by the end of 2012, another 4 by the end of 2013, and another 2 by the end of 2014. That means this has completed the overall process of the settlement of the claim. Now, in this mechanism of projection, I want to project these numbers for all these boxes, right? I really want to project, like in the 2014, if 5,818,000 of the total claims that got initiated got settled, and 557 total number of claims got settled, what is the amount that is yet to be settled? What is the amount that is yet to be settled for the 2013 initiated claim, for 2012 initiated claim, so that the overall reserve can be planned out? Now, through this average cost per claim method, the first thing that we are looking at is the accumulated average cost per claim. Right, in the first step, I'm looking at accumulated average cost per claim. And the way I'm looking at that is, all right, this remains the same. Accumulated average cost per claim, the way we are simply going ahead is this number, we are dividing it by the number of claims. So almost 6.7 thousand, 6,700 is the worth of the claims that got settled, per amount per claim. So these are the numbers that we are taking in each of the periods. and probably I can look at this same number for each of the periods. I'm doing it for across the triangles. Across the triangle, I'm repeating the process. So these are the approximate number of claims, amount per claim, average cost incurred per claim. So probably we can even give a better clarity by doing some kind of rounding off in terms of the presentation. Now, this is where I'm looking at the grossing up. Now, how do I get up? Okay, here by the end of the fifth year, everything got settled. Now, what I really want is what is the proportion of the final that got settled in each of the years. So, for that, I'll look at proportion of settlement in each of the years. Right, for the first year, at least there is an ultimate settlement. So because there is an ultimate settlement, what I'm going to do is year wise, what is the proportion of the ultimate that got settled? Now what I'm going to do here, I'm looking at this number divided by this number, right? Divided by this number to try to understand what is the proportion of the ultimate that got settled. So let me try to look at all these 5 years. These are the proportions of ultimates that got settled. Here it is 89.15%, 94.3, 95.18, and so on. These are the proportions of the ultimate that got settled in each of the years. In year 5, now what I can really look at is, okay, this is my ultimate number and this is the proportion of ultimate that got settled. Now here it is 100.46. Now what I'll typically do is this same. When I'm doing a crossing up, I'm starting from the last. Okay, in the fourth year, 100.46 percentage got settled. Now I'll use this information, right? I'll use this information, okay, for this period also. I'll set it as 100.46. Now if I set this number to be 100.46 here, okay, so this value 8.013 is corresponding to this 100.46. So according to that, what is this absolute number? I can very well find out, which works out to nothing but 8.013 divided by 100.46, which will give me 7.976. So this is the number for the year 2010 that really needs, that is really the ultimate number, which means I can use this similar mechanism now even for 2010 as well. I'll follow this kind of an approach for 2010, which will take me that this number is 98.96%. This is around 94.7 and this is around 94.25. The same logic as a part of the grossing up here. I'll take a simple average of these 2 years as the grossing up factor for determining the ultimate of 2011. So this is 8.498 corresponds to 98.42%. So what I'll try is using this number, I'll try to find out the ultimate for 2011. Ultimate average cost per claim is coming out to 8.632. Now using the same logic, I'll do this for 2011, wherein it gives 87.33%, 93.07%, and 96.76%. Now the same logic again here. I'll take it as the average of these three numbers that are corresponding to 9.229. Based on this, the ultimate number for me comes out to around 9.659, and I can continue the same formula here in 2010 9 again I am getting around 88.31. For 2012 I am getting 88.31 and 95.46%. The same logic I'll do for 2012, taking the simple average of all these, again doing the 2013's ultimate computation, taking it to 10.769, helping me to determine this number. And finally, I can very well take for 2014 as well the average and try computing the ultimate even in this case. So these are the various ultimates that are getting computed as well as these numbers. So for each of the years, I have got my ultimate numbers. The same logic we will do even for the claim amounts, right? For the claim for the claim numbers also, we can do a similar kind of a process, just like the way we have gone ahead with respect to the settlement, which is the average claim amount. We can come out with a mechanism even for we can come out for the ultimates with respect to the total claim numbers also. Similar kind of an exercise, I'll come out with the number of claims, right? Probably if I take, these are my assessment year, these are my accident years, these are my numbers. Now what I can do is, for this year we already have that the total claim amount is this much. So what I can very well do is, I'll take it proportionate basis. 414 claims got settled as a proportion of 494, making it around 83%. So now we can very well get into the similar kind of a process for the claims. 83.81 of them got settled in the first year, 93.12, sorry, in the zero in 2009 itself, 93.12 at the end of the first year, 97.57 at the end of the second, like that, 100 at the end of third. Now what I can very well bring in is, as a part of the grossing up mechanism, for year 2010 I'll get the same ratio, which means from here I'll get my ultimate computation as this number divided by this, giving me that the ultimate for the next period is around 541, right? And based on this, I can very well compute my numbers for the next periods, 83.7, and overall probably I can take the percentages for each of the periods again. Now this is again leading me to the same. I'll take the average of these two as the grossing up factor for the computation of the ultimate for 2011, ending up in the computation of the ultimate for 2011 as around 591, right? 582 divided by this, let me just revise this number again. Okay, this is sorry, here 98.91, okay, making it 591 here. Now similarly, if I'm going ahead with it, I'm computing the numbers 83.54, and probably I'm going ahead with the others, 92.67 and 96.73. These are the numbers that are coming out in each of the years. Now the same logic I can very well implement Now the same logic I can again implement by taking the average here. The average of these three giving me 97.16, and the adjusted number again this time is coming out to 600, and the ultimate number is coming out to around 633. Right, the ultimate is coming out to 633. Now the same logic I extend, it's coming out to 83.74 here, and probably it's working out to 92.9 here. Now going ahead with a similar mechanism, I'm taking the average of all these and using this trying to compute the ultimate for the development year 1 or for the accidental year 2013, giving me that the number is around 650, and using this trying to compute the percentage for 2013, and finally going ahead with the computation of the average for 2013, and thus resulting in the computation of the ultimate for 2014 as well, resulting in some 665 being the number. Right, now these are what are my ultimate claims that are going to be initiated, and this is my ultimate cost per claim. So overall from here, I'm getting my projected loss estimate. Right, I can directly now come out with the projected loss estimate. I don't need now anything else because we have computed the ultimate claims. So projected claim payment for each of the years, I can do a projected claim payments now, which is nothing but the multiplication of the number of claims multiplied by whatever is the ultimate cost per claim, which worked out to 3717, and probably for each of the years approximately these are the numbers that are working out. Approximately these are the amounts that are working out for the total claims, which means the total claim that is yet to be paid, or total claim payments, are nothing but it's a simplification, which is a summation of all these things, resulting in some 34,041 thousand worth of claims are totally projected. Based on that, already paid kind of claims, right? Paid claims, if I am looking at, it is purely coming out as a summation of all this stuff, right? I can simply sum up all these numbers, which is resulting in the total paid claims till date. Oh, sorry, I have to really look at, when I'm saying the total paid claims, it has to be the ones that are there along the this diagonal. Those are the ones that are paid till date. So I am considering these resulting in around the claims that are paid till date. Yes, these are the claims that are paid till date. So which means whatever the claim that is left to be paid is the remaining amount. Right? Whatever are the claims that are paid till date, yeah, the total claim amount that is paid So considering that this is the total amount that is paid till date, I can very well build in the reserve requirement, which is simply the difference between these two. So this is the total amount of reserve. So 3,423 is the overall reserve requirement that is necessary in this process. It's very clear that almost at least 80-90% of the payment has been done in each of the period. The moment the first year claim itself is initiated, almost 80% of the claim payment is 89-90% of the claim payments are done, and anything after that 95% of the total claim amounts are settled. So hardly there is anything much that is left for payment, which is overall looking like around 10% of the claim amount, or 10 or slightly above the 10% is the requirement of the claim. Out of the total claim, almost 90% is settled. Only for 10% of the claims we really require any reserves to be set aside. Now here there is no unique method. I could have used the grossing up factors or the development factors, right? Even the inflation might be considered, might not be considered. But the most important usage of this model is the major assumption that is used is in terms of the number as well as the average claim amount. They are in constant proportions of the totals for that particular year. So that's one of the major assumptions this model has really worked out on. And we could have very well gone ahead with we could have very well gone ahead with using the development factors kind of a method, including the inflation, going with an inflation adjusted chain ladder kind of a method, or excluding the inflations, looking at the basic chain ladder kind of a method. Whatever is the mechanism that is being used, getting a grip on what we are doing as a part of this model to estimate the claim amounts is very much essential for us, right?